Hey everybody, welcome back to episode 3 of Bait.com's Career Talk. I'm Hatem Hanoun. I took you through episode 1, writing your CV and standing out to recruiters. Episode 2, we discussed your personal brand and how to stand out further as the professional in your field that the recruiters want to see. Now episode 3, we're taking that a step further, assuming the recruiters have found your CV, they've looked you up online, they've loved you. Now they're picking up the phone. Now they'll be giving you the call. And you need to make sure that you're prepared for that phone call. So this episode will be taking you through some don'ts of a phone interview, things you should avoid. Some things are obvious, some things I'm sure a lot of you already know, but you need to make sure you really have it registered when you're speaking to the recruiter on the phone to make sure that you further attract them to call you in for that final stage, that physical interview in person in hopes of getting the job. So that's what we're doing here, 13 don'ts of a phone interview. Number 1. Answering your phone on time. If you don't answer your phone on time, that immediately gives off the wrong impression. What recruiters want to see of any applicant is that the applicant is eager for the job. They want the job, they're fully prepared to answer that call, and they're fully prepared for that interview and to answer any questions about the job. So make sure, number 1 and most important, answer your phone on time. Number 2, the tone of your voice. Just like when you're speaking to a friend, you're speaking to a colleague, you're speaking to anyone on the phone, you don't want them sounding uninterested in what you have to say. Likewise, a recruiter wants to hear you excited, passionate, interested about the job. Don't sound like you're picking up the phone just because you have to. Show that excitement, that passion, the tone of voice, that determination, and that you really want the job. Number 3, the third mistake is being uninteresting. If the recruiter isn't interested in what you have to say, they're likely just waiting for the call to be over. So make sure through your tone of voice and what you have to say that you sound interesting. Sound prepared for the phone call as well. Avoid avoid any long gaps or pauses in what you have to say. Sound interesting, have a story to tell. When they ask you a question, be prepared for it. Do your research ahead of time and give them something interesting to listen to. Treat it like any phone call you're on. You don't want to be uninteresting and you don't want the other person on the end of the line to be uninteresting. You want them to continue this conversation with you to hear more of what you have to say. Number 4, talking to others or having others talk to you while on the phone call. If you have an interview scheduled, make sure you're somewhere quiet where you could speak to the recruiter one-to-one. Don't have people call your name or you being distracted with other people while you're on that phone call. If you have better things to do, then reschedule that phone call ahead of time, days ahead of time. Let the recruiter know a suitable time where you know you'll be left alone to speak to the recruiter and give them your time. The 5th mistake is giving random answers. If the recruiter has asked you a specific question, they are looking for a specific answer or for a specific type of answer. If they ask you a question and you answer it in 2 words and then go off on a tangent talking about completely irrelevant things, you will lose the recruiter's interest. The same way you're taking care of in your CV of making sure every part is relevant and interesting to the recruiter, the same applies on a phone call. Make sure you remain interesting, make sure you're answering what they're asking, and if you're adding any extra information, be aware of the information you're giving and how it relates to the question that they've asked. Number 6, eating on a call. You'd be surprised how many people are chewing gum on a phone call. You don't want to hear the sound of someone chewing. You don't want to be chewing gum, you don't want to be chewing anything or drinking anything. All this is extremely unappealing on a phone call. So please avoid doing any of that. Number 7, taking the call casually. The same way you don't want to be speaking to someone else while you're on the phone call or having someone speak to you, don't take the call too casually. Sound professional, sound prepared, and sound like you're very attentive to everything the recruiter is telling you on the phone. Be prepared for it. Number 8, yawning. Don't yawn on the call. Doesn't need much explanation. Number 9, diverging the question. The same way we don't want to be giving random answers to the questions. If you don't understand the question, ask the recruiter to ask it again. Ask them to explain it further. Let them know that you didn't understand it. There's no use in giving an answer that you think might work if you haven't really understood the question, because the recruiter will pick up on that, and that does speak to your character. If you're not willing to let them know, hey, I don't understand the question. Can you explain it to me in a different way, please? Number 10 is volume. The same way we're taking care of our tone when speaking on the phone, we want to take care of our volume. Don't speak too low and don't speak too loud. You don't want to be yelling on the phone and you don't want to be whispering either. Let the recruiter hear you comfortably and you speak confidently on the phone. Keep your volume at a confident, comfortable level. Number 11, saying I'm not interested right away. Give the recruiter a chance to tell you what the job is about. Give yourself the opportunity to hear what the job is about. Don't close any doors. Listening is free. Do more of it. Do as much of it as you can. Learn about the job and let the recruiter learn about you. If they've given you a call, it's because they've shortlisted you. They've seen you as suitable for the job. Now, there's only a handful of reasons why you'd say I'm not interested right away. The main one being that you might have found something else and you've accepted that offer. In all cases, listen to what the recruiter has to say. Let them know more about you. They'll shortlist you or keep you on the side or keep a note on your profile for future reference. Let them know that you've taken another job, but hear them out and introduce yourself. Let them learn more about you so that you're always top of mind for them. Maybe a future opportunity comes out. Maybe the opportunity that you've accepted doesn't work out the way you've wanted. Then you have someone you can reach out to. This saves the recruiter time because they know you're a viable and qualified candidate. And at the same time, you know if this job is suitable for you, so it saves time for everyone. So definitely hear the recruiter out, introduce yourself, let them know more about you, go through the full phone interview, but let them know definitely that you've taken something else, that you're traveling, whatever the reason may be that you're not interested, but hear them out and introduce yourself as well to them. Number 12, asking about the salary. Now we see this mistake happening more with fresh graduates, interns, and more of the younger candidates. But you definitely should not ask about the salary in the interview, definitely not in the phone interview. Now everyone has their different motivation. Even if your motivation is strictly financial, monetary, don't ask about that question. Companies want to know that you're in it for the job itself, that you're looking to develop your career, that you're looking to help the company, and it's not just about a quick buck, that you won't be leaving them if you found a better offer instantly. So definitely avoid asking that question. Do your research beforehand. We have on Bait.com the salary search, gives you an idea of the type of salaries to expect for specific roles, for specific industries. Go on the website, find that out, find that information out for yourself, but definitely don't ask it, especially not in the phone interview. It might come up, wait for the recruiter to bring it up. They will ask you at some stage, what are your salary expectations? This is what we're offering, but avoid you being the one to ask that question. It just gives them a wrong idea about your motivations, excuse me, and the type of career progression you're looking for. And finally, number 13, interruptions. Do not interrupt the recruiter. The phone call works a lot like any regular conversation that you have. You don't want to be interrupting the person you're speaking to. And likewise, you don't want to be interrupted when you're in the middle of a thought stream, when you're sharing some information. So definitely don't interrupt the recruiter, because anything that turns off the recruiter, that evokes a negative reaction or makes them feel negatively towards you about any small thing, that could be amplified. You don't know the type of person you're speaking to. You don't know what really irritates them. Some people are really bugged out by being interrupted the whole time. So you don't know who you're speaking to, and in all cases, you should not be interrupting. Let the recruiter speak. Let them give their full information. Ask the full question. Once they're done talking, you answer the question. You ask your questions, but do not interrupt. We hope you all found this video very useful and informative. What did you guys think of this list? Did we leave anything out? Let us know in the comments below. Let us know if there's any mistakes that you made that you want to share with others. And if you're a recruiter, let us know what mistakes you face a lot that you'd like to share as well. We're all looking to help each other out and empower each other. Now, this entire list is from our Bait.com blog, and we're leaving the link in the description box down below for your easy reference. And as always, if you like this video, do leave a thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, and we'll see you next week on episode 4.